First car coming around to get the green flag. That's going to be the car 18 of Miles Cook. The second, time of 17:6:48, 1:7:6:48 is 17:105 on the books for Turner, with Varnador posting a 17:394. Next up, Cook will come across the line to a 17:3, 7:37, but you've got the 27T of Turner spinning. Checkered flag coming out of 17:7:21. Will be the time of record for Maverick Varnador on that second lap. Turner getting around in the first lap. First lap completed, but then Turner spinning in turn 4. Did you get in? Okay, thank you. Yeah, just needed it plugged in. It said battery low, and I got Anthem yet to do. After the Anthem, you can come over and take this. Next group on the racetrack, Chris Wilson in car 17 leads them out. You'll have the 11 of Tyler Morehouse, and joined in the field, it's Brian Cox, or Jason Cox rather, in the car 77. Miles Cook, fast time so far, and no, actually it's going to be Miles Cook down the line third fast. Michael Turner fast on just one lap, 17:690 for Wilson. Problems for one of the cars at the top, that's Cox, 21:102 and a 21:437. Chris Wilson, fourth quick so far, needs to knock down about a half a second on this one. He'll take a time of 17:453 and move into third spot behind Maverick Varnador. Tyler Morehouse will go to an 18:293, and Cox will round it off with a 19:801. Those drivers all experiencing faster laps on their second lap. The first group had their fastest laps on the first lap, as Michael Turner stands only on a 17:105. Maverick Varnador had a 17:394 backed by a 17:721. Here comes Mike Halliday in car number 4, ready to qualify, representative from Georgia. Halliday gets the green flag. Chasing him across the line is going to be Brian Wilburn. Wilburn racing out of the state of Ohio. He's from Portsmouth, Ohio, so everybody's coming for the 27T of Michael Turner. First lap by for Mike Halliday will take the time of 19:412, 17:913 for Wilburn. Wilburn going to find himself a little bit behind the 8 ball, or the 4 ball in this case, as Wilburn will look to the bottom, but the 4 car right there in front of him. Checkered flag comes out for Halliday to beat the 19:412. He does with an 18:686. In the meantime, you'll see the qualifying time for Brian Wilburn check in 5th. His second lap, the better of the two, 17:734. So 8 of our 10 cars have taken time in this group. Here comes the car number 09 from Group 2. That is Michael Leach from Sun River, Montana. Right behind him, next on the racetrack, as Zachary Hawk will also be in this group, we'll see Jacob Hall's 43J. Leach very quickly around the racetrack after having gotten the green flag. Will be the first car from this second session, and he's going to set a nice mark, 16:742, 16742. For Jacob Hall, the time will be an 18:279 and a 17:729 for Zach Hawk, trying to beat that 16:742. That's a challenge, and he did it by almost half a second. 16.299 for Michael Leach, 16.299. Jacob Hall crosses to an 18.509 with a 17.610 put up for Zachary Hawk. Hall's going to keep his first lap time of 18.279. Hawk will improve to a 17.610. Fast time so far, a full 1.4 seconds better. That is Michael Leach. Next up, it's the K9 of Will Krupp, the car number 5 of Bobby Bagley in his first start. and Brian Skaggs out of Ironton, Ohio, this group next to qualify. Illinois, Ohio, and West Virginia representing right now. First lap in for Will Krupp, a 17:05.2, second in the bunch. Bagley on his first qualifying lap of the week, 19:199 and a 17:332 for Skaggs. That's third quick. Will Krupp looking to trim the time a little more, 17:102. That's 5/100ths off his first lap time. Bagley trying to beat a 19:199 and does to an 18:015. Skaggs will get a better time at 17:171. Skaggs will stay third with that 17:171, while Will Krupp second at 17:052. Fast time so far, Michael Leach, 16:299. Austin O'Dell in the 9 on the racetrack right now for his first qualifying effort. Last night feature winner Lucas Lee right behind him, as we're going to get 4 cars on the racetrack. Rob Fuquay and the 77 of Ray Bollinger. First car to get the white flag, it's O'Dell. He'll take a 17:941. Lucas Lee going to get his first lap in. Lucas Lee with a time of 16:546, second solid. Fuquay 17:695 and Bollinger a 17:435. O'Dell trying to beat a 17:9 does to a 17:598 and a 16:498. His better of the 2 laps, that's still second. Fuquay by with a 17:851 and Ray Bollinger wraps it up 18:605. Bollinger keeps the first lap of 17:435. O'Dell will keep the second lap as he puts up a 17:703. The first 2 groups are being escorted away from the qualifying. So while they make their way down to the pit area, we'll come back with more qualifying here tonight. The racing action at East Bay Raceway Park. Of Jeremy Rayburn. Right behind him will be the car number 88 of David Poland. And you'll have the S21 of Seth Daniels from Jackson, Ohio. All new set of times to beat because qualifying groups indicate the heat race lineups. Everybody's seen the green flag, and Jeremy Rayburn will hustle back to get his first lap in the books. He'll take a time of 17:338, 17:338, while Poland will go to a 17:166 and move to the top. Daniels trying to better that and doesn't, 17:309. That's second best. Rayburn trying to beat a 17:338, and he will do that to 17:112, 17:112. For Poland, a 17:181. not better than his first lap in Daniels, a 17:3:05. Better lap for Seth Daniels, but third quick is Jeremy Rayburn on his second lap, moved up top with a 17:112. And David Poland on his first lap, a 17:166. Skylar Douglas in car 14 on the racetrack. Jason Russell's 75R. And we'll have the 33W of Rodney Wing. Rodney Wing, a winner on Monday night. Taking the checkered flag, now gets the green flag for qualifying. $17,541 for the Russell car, $17,328 for Wing. Douglas trying to beat an 18,566 does with an 18,091. Russell gets up in the high stuff, and Russell pulls an 18,119, not better. For Wing, it's going to be a 17,229. That is the better of the two laps. He'll take the third position in qualifying so far. Heading out now, the car 25, 25W of Alan Weiser. You have the 14 of Rick Conyer, the car 23B of Scott Bain, and the 7 of Brad DeYoung. Time to beat, a time of 17:112 by Jeremy Rayburn. Who's going to be first into the 16s? Is it going to be Weiser? Nope, 17,637. Connier with a 17,831. Bain will go to an 18,326. And Brad DeYoung first into the 16s in the group. Brad DeYoung 16,877. Weiser looking for better than 17,6. He does, 17,553. Connier will go to a 17,815. Bain a little better, and now DeYoung better still. He tops his time and gets into the 16.7s, 16.727. Last guy to take time is the one who moves to the top, fast qualifier of the group, group number 3. That is Brad DeYoung. Dave Wheatholder in the 05, first on the track, followed by Jeff Matthews in car 33, and then you have the 82 of Gary Dillon. Gary Dillon having a little problem coming off the corner there as he came down to the green flag. White flag waves over Dave Wheatholder. Wheatholder will put up a time of 18,006. Matthews a 17,217. And Gary Dillon still a solid 17,565. Matthews best of the bunch at 17,2 on the first pass. It's a checkered flag for Dave Wheatholder and 17,974 for Matthews. Solid 17,113, 4/10 better, and a 17,342. So those drivers qualifying in, locked in early on. Matthews best at 17,113. Dillon second quick at 17,342. Here comes the 27 of Bo DeYoung. Joining Bo DeYoung in this race, in this competition for fast time, the 72 of Todd Nieheiser. And we'll also have the car 25 of Josh Lomal. White flag. First lap 18,214 for DeYoung, a 17,569. For Nieheiser. Lomal will go to an 18,200. Nieheiser moves to third quick with that 17,569. Checkered flag for DeYoung, 17,670. Nieheiser not better, 17,801. And the second lap for Lomal will be at 18,151. So one more group of cars. Looks like we have 4 of them that could qualify for this to try to trim back that 17-113. Jeff Matthews holds on. Here's Kyle Strickler first to give it a shot. He'll be followed out by Jason Garver, a Monday night winner. The 97G, that is Jason, actually the 97G is Jason Kroos. So Justin Hart, 16H, missing from this group. Time to beat 17-113. What's Kyle Strickler going to show you? 16-598 right to the top of the heap. Garver with a solid 17-150, good for third. And Kroos in the 97G posts a time of 20.265. Strickler, 16-545. It's the better of the two. Garver to the 16-932. He'll be second quick, putting Matthews back to third. And Jason Kroos finishes up. His car 97 will take a time of 19.771. That's his keeper time. Once again, apparently the 16H of Justin Hart not qualifying from this group of cars. 4 groups of cars have been qualifying for their heat races now. We're about halfway through this one. More qualifying yet to come from the Winter Nationals here at East Bay Raceway Park. Green light. Rolling out our next group. Signal given for the first 3 cars to roll out here. We're expecting to see the 1H, Ben Harmon. He's first on the racetrack. Right behind him then will be the 99J of Treb Jacoby, and we'll get the 81 of Jeremy Owens. This will be our first group with 9 eligible cars. Ben Harmon setting the mark, a time of 17-170. Solid time for Ben. Treb Jacoby, can he do better than that? He did with a 16-979. 16979. Jeremy Owens trying to negotiate turn 4 to a 19-023. For Harmon, 17-171, just 1/1000 slower than last lap. Treb Jacoby was in the 16s, but not so much this time at 18-245. And Jeremy Owens looking to beat a 19-023, pedals back, but an 18-364 to his credit. Ben Harmon's first lap, 17-170. His second lap, 17-171. That, my friends, is consistency. Waiting next on to the racetrack as we welcome in the next group of cars to take a time for tonight's racing action. Looks like we'll have the 26G of Ryan Gerke first to take the time, the Oh No of Jamie Layton, and the final qualifier will be the 6ST of Joseph Thomas. For Ryan Gerke, 17-533, third quick. Jamie Layton's car, Oh No, 19-022, and Joseph Thomas, 17-614. Gerke knows there's room there with that 17-533, and he's going to push it down 3/10, 17:246 third quick. Layton to a time of 18:513 and a 17:538. Better time for Joseph Thomas in car 6ST. Last three cars set to hustle out onto the racetrack. Feature winner last night, Cole Charneski from Denmark, Wisconsin. The car 64M, that is Tim McCafferty. We do not see Zeke McKenzie's 24. McKenzie did not compete last night and apparently is not going to qualify tonight. Charneski 16:579, 4/10 better than the best so far. McCafferty will go 18:196. 16:579, solid in first, but he's up high this time near the wall. 16:580. Boy, consistency. You see that once again. Checkered flag for McCafferty's 18:308. We'll keep the 18:196. And just like Ben Harmon, Cole Charneski is only 1/1000th off from his previous time. Put up a 16:579 the first lap and a 16:580 on his second lap. Qualifying group number 6 is on the racetrack now with Travis Varnador in the 205, Tim Gay in car 90, and Corey Bavard in car 8C. Now Gay spins down in turn 4 on the approach to the flag, and that's going to bring the caution flag out. As everyone will once again, they'll space them out and give them a chance to get them ready to take the green. So far, Travis Varnador had only taken the green, and that will not count. Now the green flag comes out for Corey Bavard. Travis Varnador takes a look up on the top side, as does Tim Gay. White flag for Corey Bavard, and that's going to be a time of 17:598. Travis Varnador will get his time after Tim Gay gets his. Tim Gay in 18:080 and Travis Varnador best at 17:022. Corey Bavard trying to beat a 17:5, gets another 17:5. It's better, 17:566. Tim Gay looking to best in 18:080. Will with a 17:878, and Varnador second lap 2/10 slower, 17.237. Keep the time of 17.022 as your starting spot. Austin Sanders on the racetrack in car 64. Right behind him will be the 87Z of George Zeman and the 0 of Damian Kiefer. Austin Sanders, 17:032 spin for Zeman in turn 4. Sanders second quick, off by 1/100th of a second from Travis Varnador's 17:022. The progress interrupted now by the spin by George Zeman out of Horton, Michigan. Qualifying Group 6 will continue. Green flag waves over the 0 of Damian Kiefer. Zeman in the 87Z will get it next. And the 64 of Sanders comes by. Kiefer a 17:980. Zeman shows a time of 17:650. What's Sanders going to have? 17:239 second lap time. Checkered flag comes out for Damian Kiefer, a 17:911. 17:911. Last cars on the racetrack. Denny Schwartz in the 21S. You'll have the car 2 of Devin Dixon and the 23Z of Austin Self. $17,424 for Schwartz. Dixon to a 16,972, first in the group. You've got the 23Z of Austin Self, 17,306. Checkered out for Denny Schwartz. First lap will count for him. How about for the 16,767, better than his previous lap by 0.2 of a second. And Austin Self betters his time to a 17,195. So once again, this group completed with 9 cars. 6 groups of qualifying have been completed. 2 qualifying groups remain from the Winter Nationals here at East Bay Raceway Park. We'll have more in just a moment. Set for Group 7, making their way out onto the racetrack, led out by Marion, Indiana racer Jesse Strange in the E85. Two-time feature winner Austin Holcomb in car number 8A. And we'll see the 9 of Corey Balke. Setting the mark for the 7th group. The mark stands at 17,585 from the E85, while Austin Holcomb trims that down to a 17,001 and a 17,631 from Corey Balke. Strange bobbles up a little bit as he gets near the wall in turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag out. Holcomb stayed in the middle of the racetrack, betters it. Actually doesn't better it, a 17,001 with a 17,072. All of these drivers have a faster first lap. Holcomb at 17,072, Strange at 17,838, and the Balke car at 17,631. Strange's time actually was 17,585. .12 of Gary Parsons next to qualify. Then you've got the 101 of Hunter Feltner and the 99 of Wade Olmstead. Parsons try to beat a 17,001's got a 17,411. 17,636 as Olmstead will take an 18,172. Parsons up to second quick, needs to take 0.4 off. Let's see what he can do with this one. He'll go to a 17,489 going the other way. Feltner to a 17,555, that's a keeper. Olmstead will take an 18,224. So Feltner the exception to the rule in this group, as he was the only driver to have a faster second lap at 17,555. Billy up the graph in the car 10X leading them out. Right behind him, Mike Petoskey, car number M20. The 333 of Wade Rookard. This will complete the session, group number 7. Checkered flag in for the 10 of Billy Updegraff, and a 17.307 better of the two. Mike Petoskey goes 17.415. That's a better lap for him, and Wade Rookard will keep his first lap time, as his 17.842 was not eclipsed by that 17.901. Fast time in the group, Austin Holcomb, two-time feature winner this week, 17.001. On to the racetrack. This is group number 8. Brandon Hutchinson in the A85, Devin Wright in car 37, and the 119 of Josh Sigler. Hutchinson's A85 will go to a time of 17.849. 17.811 for the 37 of Wright, and an 18.958 for Josh Sigler. $17,528, much better. Wright, 0.2 better at 17.768, and Sigler will take a 19.361 as his second lap time and keep the 18.958 for the record. Hutchinson and Wright both got faster times on the second lap. Hutchinson currently leads with a 17.528. Hustling out on the racetrack will be Maysville, Kentucky's Jimmy Lennox in the 8 car, the 19A of Thomas Sigler, and the call 15R of Paul Rival. For Lennox, a 17.344. Rival spins in turn 2. Sigler gets an 18.401 for his time on the first lap, but none of the drivers will continue as the yellow flag has come out. First lap in the books for both drivers. Rival had a problem last night in the same general area, then opted to go into the infield rather than take a qualifying lap. Started his event at the tail and may need a little assistance to get that car going back to wherever it's going to go. Paul Rival, a regular racer here in the Gagels Auto Parts Modified class. Jimmy Lennox looking for a good night tonight, off to a good start with that 17.344. He was another one of those charging through the field last night. Once again, this will be our final qualifying group. Then the heat races will be lined up based on the qualifying. Top 2 finishers in the heat races will move on into the A main. Remaining cars will have to contest the 12-lap B mains to find their ticket into the A main. 15R has been moved into a safer area on the infield, and now the driver's told by way of the receiver system, time to pedal down and get ready to take the final qualifying pass. Both drivers had a previous run. Thomas Sigler's 18.401, Jimmy Lennox 17.344. White flag displayed. Lennox will be the first one to get a time to wrap things up. It's going to be 17.262, a little better than his previous run. And Sigler looking for a time to be better than the 18.401. It was not. It was an 18.498. Last three cars are expected on the racetrack for their qualifying effort. You've got the for sale of Kevin DeYoung out of DeMont, Indiana. Here comes Dave Baldwin from Perrysville, Indiana. And we'll wait and see if that ninth and final car, which would be Mason Love from St. Petersburg, Florida, does enter the track, and Love does not. So 8 cars will qualify in this group. For DeYoung, an 18.285, 18.285. And for Baldwin, a 17.704. Baldwin third quick in the group. 17.704. DeYoung will hustle home. A lot better, 0.3 better, 17.945. And Baldwin to beat a 17.704, he does, moves to second in the group at a 17.443. That completes our qualifying. We'll be back for opening ceremonies and the start of tonight's racing action in just a couple of moments. I have no idea. Bobby Dixon owns Travis's. Well, I don't know about anybody else. That's who's in.
Chris was asking me who it was, and I couldn't remember.
Which Chris? This Chris?
No. Chris Moulton, that's Dean and Al's friend that comes and on her Facebook friends and stuff.
Okay.
He comes over here, and somebody got real with his daughter at one point.
Okay. All right.
Tried to tell me who it was, and I was like, I don't know who it is. Bobby Dixon.
Sounds about right. Yes. Got it. Got it. Race fans, welcome in once again to East Bay Raceway Park here tonight for night number 3 of the Dirt Car UMP modified activity that we have here in store. Right now, we're about to get things underway. Qualifying has been completed. The 8 groups have qualified, and we are about to get things started with tonight's opening ceremonies. But before we put that first race on the racetrack, we want to take a little bit of time right here to thank the individuals who work collectively here to keep this racing program moving in a safe manner. These are your track crew members here bundled up tonight for the elements as they have a job to do, whether it's in the flag stand, the pace truck, one of the push trucks, one of the safety vehicles. Whatever it is, they got a job to do, and we have nothing but the best down here. And we appreciate all the support they give us throughout the year, but especially during here in the Winter Nationals. And we ask you to recognize them as well by giving them a round of applause here tonight. That is our track safety crew here to do a job for you this evening. So let's get things rolling here tonight with our invocation. That's going to be followed by the playing of our national anthem. So at this time, if you would all please rise and direct your attention down trackside. We'll go now with our invocation. Please bow with me. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this night so that we can go racing once again here at East Bay Raceway Park. We ask that you be with the crew members and the drivers as they compete for this night. So very important to all of them. Be with them, allow them to do the job in the sportsmanlike manner. Put the hand of safety upon the individuals before you here on the front straightaway. That is our track safety crew, and we ask that you be with them tonight as they go through their work. They have a difficult job to do at times, and we ask that you be with them through the course of the night. For those among our number here tonight to watch and enjoy this race, and those among the number watching on FloRacing, we ask that you be a part of their lives as well, too, and guide them along. For those not among our number that are working out there protecting the public safety, whether it be ambulance drivers, EMTs, whether it be the law enforcement officers, firefighters, or those in the healthcare profession, public safety meaning so much these days. Be with those who are suffering through an illness in these times of winter, and also with those who are grieving the loss of a loved one. We ask that you put the hand of comfort upon them. Lord, thank you for all of this, but the freedom so very important to all of us couldn't have been possible without the work of the United States military, and that's why we ask that you watch over them both far and wide and allow them to do their job to keep this nation free as we get ready to celebrate our 250 years of independence. So once again, we thank you for all of this as we get set to go racing here tonight. We ask all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen. Please remain standing now for the national anthem. You want it now? Thank you, race fans. Appreciate your support of East Bay Raceway Park and the 2024 Winter Nationals. This is your first night here for the competition. We welcome you in here. Those who have been here in the past, we appreciate you coming back to making part of your plans here at East Bay Raceway Park. Again, the cars have qualified for tonight's heat races. The process will go with heat races, 8 of them in number. Top 2 cars from each of the heat races will then move on into the 25-lap feature, but they'll have to wait until the rest of the field is decided by virtue of the B mains that will be contested. Those B mains will be populated by the drivers that were unable to move up by way of the heat races' top 2 positions. The way the procedure is, for those not familiar with the racetrack, the cars will enter the racetrack by way of a gate at turn 2, like they did for qualifying. Then those cars will make their way around the track after falling in line behind the Brandon Ford East Bay Raceway Park pace truck. Once the pace truck goes off the racetrack, it's going to be up to the front row of the competition to determine the starting. If the starter determines that such time the start is good enough, the field will get the green flag and go on to contest their racing. If it doesn't, well, then we line them up and we try it again. Drivers will be admonished by way of the receiver system. Once the race is underway, if a car has any kind of problem, may need to drop out of the race. There are numerous places to the infield that a car may go. At the end of the race, the cars will then exit the racetrack by way of the turn 1 gate and then we'll set them up once again and be back for more action. What do you need?
I wanted to go through and see which ones are actually in there already so that I can write down the list. Got a pen too?
Do you want me to write it for you?
Yes. Since you don't have anything else to do. How about you, handsome?
Here's your starting lineup for the first of 8 heat events for tonight. On the pole, the car 27T of Michael Turner. Starting outside will be the car 14M of Maverick Varnador. Row 2 to the inside is supposed to be and still is Chris Wilson in car 17, and the outside will be Miles Cook. Now, Chris Wilson slowing in the front straightaway, apparently needing some consultation. He's going to move on from this point. Rest of the field lines up. Third row inside, Brian Wilburn in car 1W. Tyler Morehouse in the 11 will start 6th. Starting 7th, the black number 4 of Mike Halliday. And that's all going to change because Chris Wilson is going out of the event. Jason Cox in the 77C will be scheduled to start in 8th spot. Starting 9th will be Chris Kittle. And rounding out the field, Kittle not on the racetrack at this time in the car number 15. And the car number 98 of Sean Vaughn is there. So we had 10 cars that were eligible to be a part of this one, and we're going to go with 8 of them as Kittle is not there and Wilson has opted to go away. So Wilson's absence should bring the 1W. But instead, Miles Cook's going to slide down and take the inside line and put Wilburn up on the outside. So the new lineup has Turner to the inside, Maverick Varnador to the outside, Miles Cook in the second row inside of Brian Wilburn. You've got the 11 of Tyler Morehouse, and on the outside of him, it's going to be occupied by the Cox, Jason Cox. We're ready to go green. So Turner takes the early advantage now as problem for Jason Cox, 77. He'll drop back in the field. Off turn 4, your leader is Michael Turner. Cox continues to fight that race car at the back of the field. Now battle for third. It's going to be Wilburn holding it against fellow Ohioan Miles Cook the second. Leader Michael Turner heading off into turn 4 now with a big lead over the 14 of Maverick Varnador. 3/4 of a second the difference between first and second. Best battle on the track continues to be third between the 1 car and the 18C halfway through. Eight-lap heat races, top 2 move on to the A main. Leader into lap traffic now slips by the 77 of Jason Cox. Maverick Varnador will hang on to that second spot. Wilburn can't quite catch up to him. Maverick Varnador still has to get by the lap car that Turner has already dispatched. Wilburn has managed to get away from Miles Cook. White flag for your race leader, Michael Turner. And now, Jason Cox up near the wall as third place Wilburn runs by. Jason Cox into the infield. Leader comes into turn 4 to the checkered flag. The win will go to Michael Turner. Crossing the line in second will be Maverick Varnador. Rest of the field getting the checkered flag now as our top 2 finishers will go down to the tech area. The remainder will go into the pit area. Congratulations. Advancing to the A-Main, second place, Maverick Varnador, and your winner, Michael Turner. We'll be back with heat race number 2 coming your way from East Bay Raceway Park in mere moments.
Back, go ahead.
Field of cars onto the racetrack right now for the second heat event. Again, 8 laps the distance on the heat race, and the top 2 we're going to transfer into the A feature. On the pole, it's car number 09 of Michael Leach. Starting on the outside of him will be the car 12L, that is Lucas Lee. Will Krupp will line up to the inside in K9. He starts third, joined by Brian Skaggs in car 20. Row 3 to the inside, Ray Bollinger in car 77 with the Zachary Hawk car 54H. Row 4 inside, Rob Fuquay in car 3F, and making his first start of the week, the 9A of Austin Odell from Rochester, Illinois. The final row has another driver making the first start from Mineral Wells, West Virginia, car 5 of Bobby Bagley. And you also find on the grid the car number 43J of Jacob Hall. We are missing 1 car at this point, and my money says it's Bagley's 5. Judging by the vacancy at the back of the field, looks like the 5 car is not going to start. So Bobby Bagley, DNS in his first attempt here, will be hopefully fixed and ready for a B main. This is 8 laps. This is time to go green. Race at the front of the field, Lucas Lee on the outside of Michael Leach. It's going to be Lee rocketing off into turn 3, but Leach stays on the bottom charging after him. Leach was able to win the battle to get the top spot, but Lucas Lee, with his experience, going to move his 12L car right out front. Leach runs second. Ryan Skaggs third. Spin! 3 cars collected down in 3 and 4. 3 cars going around, getting caught up into it. Jacob Hall right smack in the middle of it all. Austin Odell in the 09 also caught up in it as well. 1 car able to roll away, and that is the 54H of Zach Hawk. All drivers now able to make their cars leave the accident scene. The caution flag waves with 2 laps completed. Hawk giving an indication that he'd like to take the car out through the pit gate and get out of this one. Looks like he may be joined in that parade by the 3F. Nope, the 3F is in the back straightaway. Line it back up once again. got Lucas Lee up front, Michael Leach second, Brian Skaggs third, Will Krupp in fourth. Ray Bollinger sets in the fifth position, and sixth is Rob Fuquay. Green flag is in the air. Lucas Lee with a good start, and now Brian Skaggs has helped himself to a transfer spot. Battle for second intensifies in the early stages of this. Michael Leach will try to look for racing room. He'll go into turn three looking at the bottom. Skaggs going to try to crowd him if he can, and he does. Will Krupp had to check up in turn four. Things could have been really bad for the K9. Leach again with a run, just cannot quite get there. Can't get the nerf down to where it needs to be. Skaggs trying to hold on to his spot with his experience here at the racetrack. Lucas Lee has really stretched it out now. 2 to go this time by for Lucas Lee. Brian Skaggs second, third is Michael Leach. Again, Leach thinking about the bottom line, a place where Skaggs is not. The white flag is there. Oh, good run off four for the 09. Found something that time. Is it going to be enough? Takes a different angle going into the corner, see if he can get a run down the back straightaway, and he can. He goes wheel to wheel for battle for second. That is the final transfer spot. Leach carrying a lot of momentum in. He's going to carry it all the way to the flag stand and pick up second place. A lot on the line that time, coming down to the checkered flag as heat race number 2 sees excitement to the finish. 2 cars moving on into the A main here tonight. The rest of the field going to be making their way into our B mains. So once again, congratulations to the top 2 finishers. Second place, Michael Leach, and your winner, Lucas Lee in 12L. Heat race number 3 is coming up at East Bay Raceway Park. Heat race number 3 begins to roll behind the pace truck. It looks like this. It's Brad DeYoung up front. In the car 7, Jeremy Rayburn in car 11R will start outside of row 1. Row 2 inside, David Poland's car 88. And outside of him, Monday night feature winner Rodney Wing from Meridian, Mississippi in the 33W. Row 3 to the inside, Seth Daniels, driver of the car number S21. And outside of him, Jason Russell in 75R will start 6th. Alan Weiser starts 7th in 25W with Rick Connier in the 8th position, the 14C. Final row will be the 23B of Scott Bain and the car 14 of Skylar Douglas. Looks like Hunter put down the flag so he can watch Daddy race this one. 10 cars going the distance of 8 laps. Top 2 cars moving on for this event. Slow pace gets him there, green flag. Into turn 2, they'll battle down the back straightaway. Goes Brad DeYoung in command of this one. Rodney Wing coming up to seek that transfer. He'll have it for now. Front four cars spacing it out a little bit. Rayburn in third, Poland in fourth, fifth goes Seth Daniels. Rodney Wing understands the implications of winning versus just qualifying. He's coming after the race leader. Now battle for third. As one car around on back in the field, that's the 75R Russell. Another car ducks into the infield. That's going to be Scott Bain's 23B. That's all happening well back of your race leader, Brad DeYoung. Top two cars have broken away. We come to two to go. Look out, Wing goes sideways into turn four. Snaps it back out onto the racetrack. Meanwhile, Rayburn's going to get around him. Wing back on it. He's going to charge hard after the 11. As Rayburn has moved up into the qualifying with 2 laps to go. White flag this time by. 7 in for car 7. Now Wing again on the bottom. This time he'll try to put that run down in the place that was treacherous for him. Rayburn not going to give him a whole lot here. Rayburn going to try to get into the A-main himself. Now, turn 3, checkered flag for Brad DeYoung. And watch what happens in this battle. It's going to be on the outside. It was the 11 of Jeremy Rayburn. That, of course, is unofficial. We'll let the officials make that decision. So race to the finish as problems happen for Rodney Wing in the car 33W. But 2 cars moving on from heat race number 3. Second place for Jeremy Rayburn and your winner, Brad DeYoung in car 7. We'll come back with heat race number 4 and open up 2 more spots here from the Winter Nationals at East Bay Raceway Park. Heat race number 4 begins to move around the racetrack here with Kyle Strickler in car 8S from Mooresville, North Carolina, leading the group. Strickler looking to get into victory lane. The guy on his outside did it Monday night, the 27G of Jason Garver. Row 2 to the inside, it's local racer Jeff Matthews in car 33 with the 82 of Gary Dillon from Elm City, North Carolina. Row 3 to the inside, the 72 of Todd Nieheiser. Switch the number around, make it 27. That's Bo DeYoung starting 6th. 4th row has Dave Wheatholder in 05 and the 25 of Josh Lomal. And the 97G on the racetrack, that is Jason Kroos. And the non-qualified 16H of Justin Hart. What's going to be the fast way around the racetracks? We'll find out as Strickler will lead Garver down into turn 3. Matthews making his way up, and around goes Jeff Matthews. He'll spin the race car. Heavy contact with Bo DeYoung. So Matthews and Bo DeYoung making contact there. Matthews getting around that area, not one of the positive areas for the 33 cars. You can see the damage on the right side of the Matthews machine. Bo DeYoung rolls away, and he'll be checking to see what the status of his car might be. Matthews apparently deciding not to run over his own sheet metal. You can see the damage can opener style on the 27 with the right front fender peeled back. Field will negotiate around the 33 while safety checks the site in the event there was debris. Some kind of assistance being needed to get the 33 car into the pit area. Looks like it's going to be a push. It's going to be necessary. Looks like of our 10 starters, 7 continue to move around. Do believe the tow truck is attending to Jason Gross in car number 97G.
I'd like to 30 here if possible.
While they do the work on the front straightaway here by a turn 4, we're going to take it away for those of you watching on FloRacing, give you a chance to learn a little bit more about one of our prime sponsors. We'll be back with more from East Bay Raceway Park. After taking care of Jason Gross's car number 97G, the tow truck now makes its way down to the Jeff Matthews 33. Matthews was on the grid for the Monday activity but did not qualify. Then we had the situation where the car sat out last night. Now to get back into the chase, the word got out late last night about the change in format and about how the Wednesday points are going to start counting toward the weekend. The original plan was to maintain the formats from Monday and Tuesday into Wednesday, then begin calculating points on Thursday. The decision made by the race officials last night to go ahead and advance the format that sees heats, B mains, and A mains, as the drivers a little more familiar with that one in hopes of getting the program into an orderly fashion, as we do have 3 more nights remaining following tonight. Congratulations to the drivers that did pick up A mains. Austin Holcomb got a pair of them. Jason Garver, who's on the outside of the front row of this race, picked up one on Monday. Lucas Lee got one last night. We'll see Cole Charneski in car 21 CZ. He got one last night. Rodney Wing in the 33W that we saw in the previous race, also a Monday night winner. So go with the 7 that we have here on the racetrack. Lining them back up on the complete restart. With Strickler down to the inside of Garver. In the second row, it's going to be Dillon's 82. Got a new running mate with Todd Nieheiser. Todd on the outside can be exciting sometimes. Dave Weedholder in the car number 05 drops to the bottom. Justin Hart's there along with Scott, the car 25 of Lomall. Nieheiser rockets from the second row up into third spot, but now leading the way it's Strickler. And the 27 of Garver settles in the same line. Front 3 cars start to make their way in advance of the rest of the field. Try to settle it amongst themselves as Nieheiser finds something on the bottom. And again took a look on the fellow Florida racer Jason Garver, but lost a lot of time that time. This time by your race leader Kyle Strickler, going to see cross flags indicating he's halfway done. 4 laps in, 4 laps remain in this 4th heat event. Right now, Garver's sitting comfortably in that 2nd spot. We've seen some late race challenges for that position, but it's going to take a little work now with 2 to go for Nieheiser to get there. As Garver will be setting his sights on making the A main here tonight, as the top 2 drivers from each heat race automatically slip into that lineup for the 25-lapper white flag for Kyle Strickler. Garver pulls that left front in the air as he makes his way through turn 2. Matters not. Checkered flag for Kyle Strickler in the 8S. Jason Garver will cross the line 2nd. Weed holder problem on turn 4 as they came down to the checkered flag and nearly caused some consternation for Joss Lombaugh. Checkered flag out on heat race number 4. Congratulations. Moving on, Jason Garver in the car 27G and your heat race winner from Mooresville, North Carolina. That's Kyle Strickler. Halfway done with the heat races. 4 more waiting in the wings. We'll have more racing coming your way from the Winter Nationals here at East Bay Raceway Park.
We're back.
4 in, 4 to go for the heat races here tonight on night number 3 of the Dirt Car UMP Modified feature competition as part of the Winter Nationals 2024. On the pole, last night's feature winner, the car 21 out of Denmark, Wisconsin, and that is Cole Charneski. Outside of him, good run on Monday night for the O'Fallon, Missouri racer. Trev Jacoby drives a 99J. Row 2 to the inside, Ben Harmon, car 1H, and outside of him will be the 26G of Minnesota's Ryan Gerke. Another Minnesota racer lines up in the 5th position. That's the 6ST of Joseph Thomas. Tim McCafferty from Hillsdale, Michigan, 64M, will go 6th. 7th on the grid, Jeremy Owens in car 81 with the Oh No of Jamie Layton starting 8th. And the non-qualified and non-arriving car of Zeke McKenzie, car 24. Zeke did not compete last night, and he is not competing here tonight. Gerke shuffled out now, trying to find his way back into this. Is down on the bottom side. It's going to be a challenge. Harmon trying to get past Jacoby. Jacoby in the white 99. He'll hold on to that spot. Gerke will keep it up on the top side to take the move on the 1H of Harmon. He might find himself squeezed as they make their way around, all chasing your race leader, Cole Charneski. Northern contingent showing strong in this one. Here comes Gerke to the inside on Jacoby now, challenging second. He takes it to the bottom. That's where your leader, Charneski, resides. Now Jacoby not going to settle second. He's going to keep coming on strong. Meanwhile, keep an eye on Harmon. He's not done with this one. The 1H keeps the bottom, and he's going to try to follow the top two through. Jacoby to the backside, nearly sideways in the process. Little contact down the back straightaway between second and third. Halfway through this one, and Charneski leads the way as Jacoby goes to the top. Jacoby flashing by on the top side. Treb Jacoby in the 99 will grab the lead. Good time to get it as the 2 to go signal this time by spin in turn 4. The 1H of Harmon goes around. Meanwhile, Jeremy Owens in the 81 was in the wall in turn 3. So a little bit of action going on right there with 6 laps up on the scoreboard. Help on the way to Jeremy Owens' car 81. Field will double up behind your race leader Treb Jacoby here in mere moments. Race monitor showing Ryan Gerke with the advantage over Cole Charneski. We're talking by fractions here, 0.046 seconds that time. We are looking at 6 laps completed and 2 laps to do battle. See who's going to hang on to the lead or second. We've had a lead change in this race. Jacoby will go with it. Gerke went back to the top after starting up on the outside, looking to swing it, and that's not going to work yet. Here comes Gerke down the back straightaway. Charneski to the bottom, but look, the white flag is all the waits. One more lap. 3 cars have a shot at it. Thomas could make a difference. Thomas can't get there. Charneski settles second. Problems over in turn 1 and 2 as Leighton pushes a tire inside. We watch the finish line. Checkered flag for Treb Jacoby. Second will be the 21 CZ of Cole Charneski. On the restart with 2 laps to go, Charneski was back in third. And once the Gerke 26 went to the top side, Charneski had an opening and took advantage of it. Cole Charneski, second place, will move on, as will the 99 of Treb Jacoby. Those are your 2 qualifiers from heat race number 5. 3 more races to go here in the preliminaries at East Bay Raceway Park. It's like our sixth heat race, ready to get things underway here for the racing activity. 6 of 8. 8 laps. Again, the distance. Line up with Devin Dixon in the 2 on the pole. The 205 of Travis Varnador outside. You got the Austin Sanders 64 to the inside of the Austin Self 23Z. Row 3 has the 21S of Denny Schwartz and the 8C of Corey Bavard. Row 4, the 87Z of George Zeman. Tim Gay starts 8th in car number 90. Rounding out the field, Damian Kiefer from Missouri in car 0. We'll go with 9 cars to do the 8-lap distance in this particular heat race. They're anticipating a green. Opportunity on the inside for Austin Self in the 23Z. He'll go sliding up in and take that spot away. Austin Sanders now following through. Travis Varnador on the outside tries to hold third. Devin Dixon puts his car out front, staying down on the bottom. Now Varnador looking for a different line. Damian Kiefer trying to grab another couple of spots from his start at the back of the field. Long ways to go and a short time to get there. But could help him in the lineup for the B mains. No problems. Contact with the 0 and I believe the 8C ends up with Bavard into the wall. Corey Bavard was on the outside of the 0 of Damian Kiefer as they came racing down into turn 3. And contact, and around goes Bavard into the wall. He'll see if the car is still going to be good enough, but apparently not. He knows that there's enough damage on that car to take it into the infield and perhaps even further. Actually appears to be the 21S of Denny Schwartz in this one. A couple of orange favored cars out there. Definitely is the 21S. We get back up into the racing. Travis Varnador has gotten into second spot. Austin Sanders there as Austin Self goes from second to fourth. Austin Sanders trying to hustle up and catch the 205. Florida Racers running 1, 2, 3 in this one. With 2 to go, it's still Devin Dixon out front. Yellow comes out for the spin of the 87Z. George Zeman over in turn 2. Slows down the procession of the lead cars. Now, will it work for Austin Sanders to be up on the outside? If you look back to the previous race when Ryan Gerke went on the outside, it didn't work to his advantage. He went the wrong direction and gave the Cole Charneski car a chance to get into the A main. 2 laps, shooting this one out. Devin Dixon had it from the get-go, and he's going to keep them strong. Here we go. Definitely did not work out for Sanders that time yet, but he's going to make it on the way on the outside now, down the back straightaway. Ye of little faith, white flag is out. Sanders knows what he's doing in that race car as he's gotten it up to second now. Self trying to hunt him down. But instead, Devin Dixon will cross as the winner. And spin in turn 4. Travis Barnador goes around short of the checkered. Able to back the car down the racetrack and get it out of harm's way as the checkered flag comes out. Second place in the race unofficially goes to the 64 of Austin Sanders. Your race winner is Devin Dixon from Apollo Beach, driver of car number 2. There are 2 heat races left to determine the first 16 cars in the A-Main lineup, and we'll have those heat races coming your way in moments here from East Bay Raceway Park. Indeed, ready to go for more racing action here. Heat race number 7 will be taking the green flag here momentarily. In command, it's Austin Holcomb, 2-time feature winner this week in the 8A. The 10X, good qualifying effort for Glasgow, Kentucky's Billy Updegraff. Second row inside, the black 12 of Jeff Parsons, while you have the M20 of Mike Petoskey representing the Keystone State. Third row inside, the 101 of Hunter Feltner and the E85 of Jesse Strange starts 6th. The white 9 of Corey Balke lines up inside row 4 with Wade Rookert in the 333, and rounding out the field, Wade Olmstead from Orange City, Florida, car 99. 9 cars again, 8 laps the distance. Who's going to do it? Looks like the 333, a little anxious. Not enough to get a call back on that one. Updegraff quickly falls out of the top 3 wide going into turn 3. Petoskey gets there, as your leader is the 8A of Holcomb. Parsons runs second as North Carolina goes 1 and 2. Wade Olmstead having problems in the 99 and will retire the car to the infield. Look out, spin, around goes one car. Petoskey gets on the brakes, so that'll allow the 9 of Balke to get down below him. And nobody able to make contact, which is a good thing. Feltner's 101 slides to a stop in the middle of turn 4 and brings out the caution in heat race number 7. Feltner will catch the back of the field now and get his position for the resumption of this one. Field lining up, Parsons choosing the inside line. He'll take his 12 car down there. Behind your race leader, Austin Holcomb. Holcomb brings it. Mike Petoskey in the M20 up on the outside has to battle with Corey Balke in the M9, and Balke's going to take over that third spot. Gets it sideways. That opens it up for Petoskey to come right back at him. Now, problem up in turn one as Balke nearly in the gate. And that car will settle back and roll a distance behind the field, but still continue in this one. Leader stretching it out as we come to the halfway mark. The 85 of Jesse Strange with some issues. Now Feltner nearly sideways off turn 4. Feltner having problems with turn 2 as well. That'll let the 333 of Rookard slip by. Looks like it's pretty much in control of Austin Holcomb, who will try to be in good spot for that feature event. Jeff Parsons now spin turn 4. That'll be the 10X of Billy Updegraff. Playing a little billiards with those safety tires down there. And we'll get the safety crews to reposition those tire barriers as Updegraff makes the decision to head back toward turn 3 and will enter into the racetrack to get back in the chase of this one with 6 laps gone in heat race number 7. That's going to give new life to Mike Petoskey in the M20. We watched it in the last race as Austin Sanders started in that same position with 2 laps to go, and Sanders went to the outside. At first, it didn't look like it was going to be the positive move, but Sanders stayed on it, got himself second by turn 3, green flag. Petoskey and Parsons rub. Parsons gets the best of that one, as Balke, who was in the wall not long ago, is now third, challenging for a transfer. White flag shows. Petoskey in contact with Jesse Strange lets the car go. And now it's going to be the checkered flag awaiting. And there to see it first, it's going to be Austin Holcomb. And second spot will go to Jeff Parsons. Fourteen cars have made their way into the A main by virtue of the heats. The latest, Jeff Parsons, who finished second, and Austin Holcomb, your winner of heat race number 7. One more heat event to decide the 2 final spots before we get to the B mains. That's all coming your way in just moments from East Bay Raceway Park. Only 2 spots remain to automatically qualify into tonight's 25-lap main event. Those 2 spots will be reserved for the top 2 finishers in this final 8th heat event. After this, B mains will be lined up, and we'll see who's going to be moving in by way of that to the 25-lap feature tonight. Jimmy Lennox on the pole in the 8 car. Dave Baldwin scheduled to start outside, and he'll be there in the 6B. Brandon Hutchinson's A85 goes inside Devin Wright in the 37. You got the 4 Sail, the 4 SA by Kevin DeYoung, and the 19A of Thomas Sigler. Final starting spots open to Paul Rival, and the 119 of Josh Sigler, and the O of Mason Love. Love and Rival not making this event. We're going to go with the 7 we have here, increasing the odds. 28% of the field going to make this show. See what it's going to be. Jimmy Lennox gets right down to business as he'll take his car to the front. He's going to be chased down the back straightaway. And into turn 3. Now on the inside, Hutchinson trying to come up and challenge Dave Baldwin. Baldwin settles second, right in the middle of a 3 wide going into turn 1. Lennox and Baldwin. Now Hutchinson problem up near the wall in the back straightaway. That gives breathing room to Dave Baldwin out of Indiana. Another Indiana driver just made a big move as the 37 of Devin Wright is making a left, and that left into the infield. Now Baldwin running second, nearly sideways. He'll dog track it down to the front straightaway and not lose a position. Field spread out. The 6 cars that remain on the racetrack. Now problem for the 4SA through turn 4. Drivers looking for grip in places it may not be. Sigler in the 19A going to close up on the 4A. That battle on back in the field. Sigler takes the top side the long way around this racetrack. Nobody's got anything for the 8 car of Jimmy Lennox, and he's got it 2 to go this time. For Lennox down the back straightaway in command. Heat race number 8 and car number 8 with 1 lap to go. Baldwin settling second. Hutchinson looking for a last-ditch effort to what he can do to catch that second spot. Baldwin not going to make any mistakes, nor is Lennox. Lennox is going to take the win in car 8. Dave Baldwin starting his heat race on the outside of the front row will come home in second spot. Rest of the field finishing up as Sigler makes his way by, DeYoung makes his way by, and now the other Sigler makes his way by. 8 heat races have been completed, 16 drivers locked into our 25-lap main event. Next up, it's our B-Main features, and we'll have them for you here at East Bay Raceway Park in just a few minutes.
Located in Parkersburg, West Virginia, Dave Poske's Performance Parts is the premier parts store in the Ohio River